Oh my goodness, y'all. Out of all the meats I've cooked, all the meats, I've dibble dabble in some meats, okay? Stop it. But out of all the meats I've cooked, pork belly has to be one of the most sensitive and you gotta get it right types of meat. And I hate it because it's a skill and it's an art. And also for me, I don't want to have to go from the oven down to the fryer just to get the skin nice and crispy. Because that's what you want to do at the end of the day. You want to make sure your skin is crispy on the pork belly that you're going to be like, oh, this is good. Because chicharrones is also pork belly. Follow along. But what you want to do, see, I don't know if y'all can see. Oh, y'all can't see. Okay, y'all see how the skin is browning up? It's getting a little hard, right? Right now, it's not to where I want it to be. It's hot. It's hot, though. It's not to where I want it to be. So we won't broil it. Ooh, excuse me real quick. I'm going to need y'all. Thank you. So I have to broil it. And that's what you have to do with pork belly. In order to get that right consistency, in order just to make sure that it is perfect. I tell y'all, pork belly is probably one of the most sensitive meats I've ever cooked. I haven't dibble-dabbled in brisket yet. Well, actually, I kind of dibble-dabbled in brisket, but it wasn't the way that I wanted it to be. The other ones didn't tell me what it was like. They was like, it's fine. Who wants to hear that it's fine? Who wants to hear that you did a good job? I want to hear that. I want you to be like, ooh, can I get some more? Because when you ask for more, that means, man, I did a good job. 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 Okay? But pork belly, man, it's one of the, I tell y'all, it's one of the most difficult, hardest things that I probably had to cook myself. So, let me tell y'all how I do it. So what you want to do is you want to dry out the skin. You want to make sure your skin is dry. So you can leave it in the refrigerator for a couple of days, about a day or two. And then what I do is, what I used to do is that I would leave it skin side up, make sure it's dry. It'll be about a day or two. That's why I buy whole pork belly. I don't like to buy half, where it's cut up. But sometimes it's a little bit cheaper when you buy it cut up. Depends on where you go. But anyway, so I like to buy the whole thing. So what you do is you're going to put it in the refrigerator uncovered. And then you might see a little water puddles pop up or whatever it is. You just take a paper towel, dry it out. Then you pour some vinegar onto it. Let it dry out again. So now the day that you're cooking it, dry it out some more. They say to poke the skin. You don't really have to poke it. Because what happens when you poke it, all that water and excess liquid starts to come up to the surface when you start to cook it. Then you're going to have to re-dry it again. But you want to cook it, and they say to make a little boat around the pork belly because you're supposed to be protecting the meat, which I think you're supposed to be protecting the skin because the skin is the best part. Hello, somebody. But anyway, so you do like that, and you cook it, and then once the internal reaches about 160 or something like that, then you can bump up the heat to broil it. So lately what I started to do, 1 second. Okay. So lately what I started to do last time was make an egg and salt mixture, right? Because what they tell you is that you want to pour a lot of salt on it because salt will dry out the moisture of the pork belly. So what I did was, one time I started doing a salt bath. I'll put the salt right on top of it and I will cook it. And so when you're cooking it, the salt gets crispy. And that way you just toss up the salt when you want to bump up the temperature to broil it. Boom. That works as well. Then I saw somebody did an egg mixture. Now, I wasn't too sure if they did the egg white or if it was a whole egg. So what I did was, I think I did a whole egg the last time. Mixed up a whole lot of salt. Mix it up nice and good. Poured right on top of the pork belly. And then cooked it like that. Now what happens is that when you bake it, that whole thing just comes apart. You just like, you could just take the whole thing right off. Bump up the temperature again. To do it like that. Now, um, okay, I heard a cat, but the cat's outside. Good thing. Anyway, so what I started to do was just regular salt. I just for this one because I just want a little snack, big back snacks. So what I did was I just did salt on top. You cook it. I did turn up the temperature on the oven, but we're going with this guy. So now with this one is that uh, with this the heat is smaller now, so it's more um, concise, I guess you could say, to hitting that skin. So, so instead of the oven, right? Because the oven is very widespread. It hits everything, right? It hits everything that's in the oven. Because sometimes people have other stuff in the oven, so it will heat up other stuff. No judgments. But when you use a toaster oven, the heat is more concise. But you gotta keep your eye on it. So we've been going for 10 minutes. Then I put on for another 10 minutes because it is not the consistency of what I like. You don't want to burn it. You just want that skin to look bubble up and look crispy. So that when you break it apart, it's crispy. That's what you want. And we're almost there, people. I know me keep on opening and closing because I don't want certain parts to burn. Because if you can see, some of it is crisping it up and it is darkening it a little bit. And certain people don't want burnt food. And I gotta tell them, it's not burnt. It's just blackened. Alright? You want me in your life? Then you have to accept the food that looks like me in your life. Sometimes they don't go for that. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. But no, this is why I'm just standing here watching it so it don't burn. Because honestly, I really don't like burnt food. I don't like burnt food. If it's burnt, I'm like, you could have done better. Could have done and you should have done better. Because I'm sitting at your table, so you should have done better. But regardless, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? From what I've heard. I guess you could just have the cake, stare at it, and that's it. But if there's cake in front of me, I'm going to want to indulge. I'm going to want to dive in. So you can't just be like, oh, you can have your cake and eat it too. The heck I can. And you bet your bottoms, I will. Don't tell me I can't have my cake and eat it too. I never really understood when people meant when they said that. But it's okay. So I think I'm going to shut it off. Because like I said, some of it... Ooh, oh, not my glove. Because some of it is darkened a little bit. And, my finger. And then you are hitting... It is being a little crispied up, right? So, it's good. Maybe about another like 2 minutes. 2 minutes or so, I'm going to leave it on. Because, yeah, like I said, some of it is getting a little darkened. But we're going to be having us a snack, some pork belly. And I'll show y'all what it's going to be looking like. Actually, I just showed y'all. So do you need another view? You don't. Just trust me. It's going to come out good, okay? Don't you trust me? I'm your Uncle Charlie. Charles, it's me. Trust me. I won't lead you wrong. Not with this. But Pork belly, y'all. It's a science, and it is also one of the hardest things you will probably ever cook besides brisket. Now, if you're cooking brisket, y'all better do it the right way. That's all I'm saying.